I think it's crazy how when we look at the moon, we could be looking at the moon at the same time as our future partner or our future wife. And our kids, they could be looking at the moon and right now they're not because they don't exist here or they're not part of our lives. And I think that's something special how time divides us, but the moon connects us and other sources of what's natural, because they will always be there. And we can just experience that with people in our lives, no matter how old we are or where we go, we will always see it. I kind of wanted to talk about my two biggest fears that I think I have in life. And it might not be ordinary, but I think it's about not being able to find a person I can truly connect with. Because don't get me wrong, I do have, college friends. I do have 3 good friends, but that's about it. I'm not complaining because sometimes the less you have of it, the value goes higher. So I really do believe the friends I have are very valued to me and I appreciate them a lot. But having a relationship and friendships are 2 different things. And I really do want to be able to, find that relationship. And if I can't, I feel like that'll be my biggest fear because, we all go through life growing and learning, and we're all here for our first time and our last time. We're not sure what we're doing, where we're going after this, and not being able to experience that with someone you love, I can connect with. I think that's the hardest thing, not being able to do that with that person, because you can share your experiences, talk about each other's memories, you are literally understanding someone else's life and living with them. You are dedicating your life, your only life, to living with them and loving them and nurturing for them and caring for them and understanding for them. And I think that's something that's beautiful. And sorry if I keep cutting off the videos because I wasn't sure where to record. And I'm doing it in the middle of the road at 2 a.m. So cars keep coming and I have to keep cutting. Why not admit it? But I do get anxious once in a while. Everyone gets anxious. Everyone's got feelings. Everyone's got emotions. So don't deny that. But I don't like people seeing me do these kind of things. Not because I'm embarrassed, but because I feel scared. And if I do admit that, and I do tell people you should not be scared with the things you want to follow or pursue. And I'm trying to work on that, So I'm proud of myself for that. And I hope I can do better in the future. Anyway, we're kind of sidetracking, but I think my second biggest fear in life is, so if I do find that person, my second biggest fear is not being able to have a family with them. And that sounds kind of weird because some people, not everyone wants a family. Maybe people see family as just for that person. And don't get me wrong, I would love to find that person and be able to spend my life with them, be dedicated to them and be happy with them, But not being able to express my love and show them how much I want to be with them and to basically have a family. If I could not do that, I think that's one of my second biggest fears because I'm not sure. You guys must be wondering with your opinions, maybe if that's your biggest fear, or maybe it's not. But I definitely do think that's something that scares me if I can't have my own family. Because I'm still a kid, but I do feel like I've grown and matured a lot more than other people, especially with the experiences I've been through. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've hurt people. People have hurt me, and I apologize to anyone who I've upset or just anything in life, because if you can't learn from your mistakes and you can't admit your mistakes, you'll never grow from them. You'll never be able to not be a better person. You can't be a better person if you can't admit the mistakes you made in the past. It's simple, such as in homework. If you can't admit what you've done wrong, you can't see where you've gone wrong, how are you going to get the right answer? But life is kind of different because there is no right answer. No matter what you do, it's always going to be wrong. It's always going to be right in someone's eyes or wrong in someone's eyes. But as long as you're trying to be a better version of yourself, trying to be the best version of yourself you can be, what difference does it make? But other than my 2 biggest fears, I also wanted to talk about, I'm not sure how to put it into words. Trust me, I've thought all day, a lot of time about this. especially with the TikToks I make. Like, that's why I make TikToks, because they're kind of easy to make. They're not easy to make, but it's easy for me to think about during the day and put it into words on there, because I'm not sure. Like, that's why as well, I do really want someone to find someone who understands me for me. You know, like, I could be able to be like this, and then they would still listen and care for me. You know, they wouldn't be scared, or not scared, but they wouldn't make fun of me or go against what I do if I enjoy this kind of things. Because that's what someone who loves you should do. They should support you in the things they do, you know. And then even if you're doing the wrong things, they should tell you on that, you know. And I think that's a good relationship. Someone who can be honest but can support you at the same time. That's a healthy relationship. And I've been in relationships, and some of them haven't been healthy. So sometimes they've been the ones wrong, and I have been wrong too. Everyone is wrong at some point in their life. But that's the good thing about when you meet your future partner. I believe in soulmates, and then when you do meet that person, which not everyone does, unfortunately, which is why that's my fear, because not everyone does. But if I do find that person, I really want to be able to be the best version of myself for them. You know, of course I'm going to mess up. Of course they're going to mess up. They're going to be good. I'm going to be good. I'm going to mess up. They're going to mess up. But I want to be able to not mess up badly. I want to be able to learn from my mistakes, learn from their mistakes. I want us to be able to grow together, because as people who have never been on this planet before, we don't even know what we're doing. Being able to learn with each other and grow with each other and just understand each other is amazing, because humans are hardwired for connection, and yet somehow it's the hardest thing to make. It's the hardest thing to do in this world, you know, because everyone is different and everyone judges each other, but then they're scared to be judged themselves. It makes no sense. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I do like just pausing the video just so I can reclaim my thoughts, because that's something that people need to do. You know, you can't always be a machine and know what you're going to say every second. But I wanted to say, like, I wouldn't say my age, but I'd say I'm almost an adult. And definitely through my teenage years, which I still am in, I guess I can say. But definitely in the beginning of my teenage years, I'm not sure. I just feel the same person as I was before. Not like mature-wise or behavioural-wise, but I feel like the way I think about life, like I'm right here, as I said, right here at 2 a.m, just recording this video to myself, and it's like, soon, when I stop that record button, this is going to be a past, this is going to be the memory. And it's such a weird concept, like, why is time like that? You know, why has everything got to move on? Especially moments I love, which I know, like, every time I'm in a moment I love, I know for a fact, the second that memory or moment is gone, I'm going to miss it for good. You know, that's why people should appreciate their moments, appreciate people around them, appreciate the things they have. You know, simply as brushing your teeth. Like, I know for a fact, whenever I'm upset, which is a lot of the time, I do try and appreciate the things around me. It sometimes helps. And even if it doesn't help, it's just to know how grateful you should be, you know. Yes, I've had a lot of bad experiences. I'm sure the people listening to this, you've had bad experiences too. You've had bad situations happen to you. You know, you can hate life, but you just got to live it. Because we only have one of it, you know. And it's very hard for me to say this, because I definitely have contemplated, you know, things. And all I think about is life, unfortunately, because I have like these issues, which I don't know, but it does make it difficult. But I think that's kind of interesting at the same time, because it makes me be able to, like, try and understand what I'm doing here. Like, what's my purpose? Like, is my two biggest fears my purpose, to find them, to make sure those fears don't happen, or those fears meant to happen in order to see how strong I really am? I'd hate for that to happen if my fears came true, but I'm not sure. Because I'm not a religious person personally, but I don't know. I just want to be able to get into a better mindset, which unfortunately I can't change. I'm forever going to be like this. you know, thinking about what I'm doing on this planet, thinking about meeting my future partner, like, and all I know is when I do meet that person, I really just want to show them how much I love them and I appreciate them. Because that's my third biggest fear, not my partner not knowing that I appreciate them. Because that is something that is beautiful, that you should show them you appreciate them, you know. Like, life isn't easy. It's very hard for everyone. Everyone's got their own issues. And just coming home to someone you know appreciates you, appreciates what you do for them, appreciates who you are, you know, loves you for you, that is something that is special. And that's a connection no one can break.